Captain Kirk's 10 greatest Star Trek enemies ranked worst to best. Considering how big of an impact Captain James T. Kirk William Shatner had on Star Trek, the original series, it's not surprising that he made his fair share of enemies. As captain of the USS Enterprise, Kirk explored the galaxy as a representative of Starfleet and the United Federation of Planets. This meant that enemies of the Federation also became enemies of Kirk's. Although the Enterprise set out on a mission of peace and exploration, the starship sometimes engaged in battles with enemy ships. The Enterprise could hold its own in a fight, but then so could Captain Kirk. Kirk got into quite a few fist fights throughout Star Trek, the original series, several of which famously caused his uniform shirt to rip. On the other hand, some of Kirk's enemies engaged him in a battle of wits, forcing the Enterprise captain to come up with creative solutions to defeat them. From William Shatner to Chris Pine, every version of Captain Kirk has been a quick thinker who combats his enemies with both his mind and, occasionally, his fists or phaser. One of James T. Kirk's earliest enemies was none other than himself. In Star Trek's The Enemy Within, a transporter accident separates Kirk into two halves, one evil and one good. The evil Kirk wreaks havoc on the Enterprise, lashing out and even assaulting Yeoman Janice Rand Grace Lee Whitney. The good Kirk and the evil Kirk battle it out in engineering, and the good Kirk eventually persuades the evil Kirk that they both need each other to survive. With some help from Spock Leonard Nimoy, Dr. Leonard McCoy DeForest Kelley, and Chief Engineer Scotty James Doohan, the two halves of Kirk are restored into one being. Since both Kirks essentially have the same mind, the good Kirk is able to anticipate the choices of his evil counterpart, but the evil Kirk continually fights back. It's a classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story, with Kirk's inner battle brought to life by the transporter. Star Trek Into Darkness may have received mixed reviews among Star Trek fans, but it did pit Captain Kirk against two formidable villains. Admiral Marcus betrays everything the Federation stands for by creating a conspiracy to start a war with the Klingon Empire. In J.J. Abrams' Kelvin Timeline, Section 31 found Khan's ship, the SS Botany Bay, adrift in space, which led Admiral Marcus to revive the genetically enhanced Khan and force the former tyrant to do his bidding. Admiral Marcus held Khan's fellow cryogenically frozen augments as collateral, and Khan was forced to flee after his failed attempt to rescue them. Khan began waging a one-man war against Starfleet, attacking a summit at Starfleet headquarters and killing Admiral Christopher Pike Bruce Greenwood. Since Chris Pine's Kirk never knew his father, he had come to see Pike as a father figure and was understandably devastated by his mentor's death. Meanwhile, Khan was Captain Kirk's more direct adversary in Star Trek Into Darkness. Kirk could not physically beat Khan, and he was forced to team with the genetically engineered madman to stop Admiral Marcus. Kirk ended up sacrificing his life to rescue the USS Enterprise from destruction. It was Spock Zachary Quinto who ultimately captured Khan with LT. Uhura's Zoe Saldana helped so that Dr. McCoy Carl Urban could resurrect Kirk using Khan's superblood. Captain James T. Kirk didn't just chart new frontiers and flirt with every alien species, he faced down some of the most memorable villains in Star Trek history. Whether clashing with cold logic, tyrannical madness, or alien omnipotence, Kirk's rogues gallery was as colorful and compelling as the stars he traveled among. From one-off nemesis to recurring threats, here are Captain Kirk's 10 greatest enemies, ranked from worst to best. 10. The Salt Vampire M113 Creature. The Man Trap. While not a mastermind or galactic warlord, this shape-shifting creature introduced viewers to the dangers lurking in space in Star Trek's first aired episode. Its ability to appear as a loved one and drain salt from humans gave it a haunting, parasitic quality. The Salt Vampire was a tragic figure, more predator than villain, but still a deadly foe. It makes the list for establishing early that Kirk's adventures would be as eerie as they were epic. 9. Apollo, who mourns for Adonai. Kirk battled gods, literally. Apollo, a powerful alien mistaken for the Greek god, demanded worship from the Enterprise crew. While majestic and mournful, Apollo's arrogance and need for devotion made him dangerous. Kirk, ever the iconoclast, rejected divinity in favor of human freedom proving that no myth could hold back mankind's destiny. 8. Gorgon, the friendly angel, and the children shall lead. With a smiling face and a chilling whisper, Gorgon manipulated children into controlling the Enterprise. He wasn't physically imposing, but the psychological toll he took on the crew earns him a spot here. His power to warp minds and intentions, especially through innocent children, gave this lesser-known villain an unsettling edge. 7. Balak, the Corbomite maneuver. Initially appearing as a fearsome alien ready to destroy the Enterprise, Balak was testing humanity's courage and wit. Kirk's bluff, invoking the fictional Corbomite to deter attack, was a stroke of classic Trek diplomacy and deception. While not truly malicious, Balak forced Kirk to confront the unknown with intellect and nerve, a challenge emblematic of Kirk's leadership style. 6. The Doomsday Machine. The Doomsday Machine. A planet-killing juggernaut from a bygone war, the Doomsday Machine had no dialogue, no motivation, only destruction. But what makes it one of Kirk's great enemies was how it challenged his resolve and his command under pressure. Trapped inside a power struggle with a traumatized Commodore Decker, Kirk had to outwit both man and machine to survive. The spectacle of the Doomsday Machine remains one of Trek's most thrilling hours. 5. Gary Mitchell. Where no man has gone before. Kirk's best friend turned godlike enemy. After being exposed to the galactic barrier, Mitchell developed dangerous psychic powers and a god complex to match. Their final showdown on a barren planet was as personal as it was philosophical. It's the first major example of Kirk confronting what it means to wield power responsibly, a theme that would echo across the franchise. 4. The Gorn Captain. Arena. The image of Kirk battling the reptilian Gorn is one of the most iconic in Star Trek. What begins as a brutal duel reveals deeper commentary on war, misunderstanding, and mercy. Kirk's decision not to kill the Gorn, even after the alien tried to destroy the Enterprise, exemplifies the series' moral backbone. The Gorn may have hissed and clawed his way into campy infamy, but the episode's message endures. 3. Mirror Kirk Mirror Universe. Mirror, mirror, what's more dangerous than an enemy? Yourself. The evil version of Captain Kirk, hailing from the Terran Empire, showed how easily charm and leadership can become tyranny. While Mirror Spock often steals the spotlight, Mirror Kirk was a powerful foil, an embodiment of what Kirk could have been without his ideals. Facing himself helped reaffirm the values that made him a hero. 2. Khan Noonien Singh. Space Seed, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Kirk's greatest personal adversary, Khan was a genetically engineered superhuman with a Napoleonic ego and a burning desire for revenge. Their initial clash in Space Seed ended with Kirk exiling Khan, but it was the Wrath of Khan that solidified the villain as a legend. Khan's mind games, Shakespearean fury, and final act of vengeance in the Mutora Nebula gave Kirk his most painful victory. The price? Spock's life. 1. The Romulan Commander, Balance of Terror. This episode introduced the Romulans and delivered one of the best strategic duels in Trek history. The Romulan commander, played brilliantly by Mark Lenard, was a mirror of Kirk, honorable, clever, and bound by duty. Their cat and mouse space battle felt like Hunt for Red October in space, long before that film existed. What makes this enemy the best isn't brute strength or godlike powers, it's the mutual respect between two warriors who might have been allies under different flags.